Affirmative professional record, 23 fights, 23 victories, including 11 big wins by knockout. Eleider scores
This is from Main Events, the promoter of Kovalev Facebook page if you want to watch the entire weigh-in. So the card tomorrow is going to be WBA champion Dmitry Bivol. Going to do an extra video on him versus Isaac Chilemba. And then you're going to have WBO light heavyweight champion Sergey Kovalev versus Eleider Alvarez on HBO tomorrow.
I'm here with light heavyweight champion Sergey Krusher Kovalev. Sergey, on Saturday, you fight in Atlantic City. It's the first big fight in
to support me, you know, like, and
your life was not where you wanted it to be. You took yourself off to a monastery in Greece. You kind of found yourself again. How has this last year been for you?
a lot of things changed in my head, in my life, because I started to change myself, you know, like after losses against son of judges.
He still won't let it go, huh? So let's talk about the fight. I'm going to be covering it right now, 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, August the 3rd, 2018. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. And like I said, Kovalev is going to be defending his WBO title tomorrow night against Eleider Alvarez. This guy, you know, Alvarez has been in the news, you know, boxing news, for such a long period of time for all the wrong reasons. 23-0 with 11 KOs. Last time he fought was 14, what was it? It'll be, yeah, 14 months since he last fought. His last fight was against Jean Pascal. I covered that fight. Then before that against Lucien Bute. So that was a nice little run right there. You know, Lucien Bute in February of 2017, then Jean Pascal in June of 2017. And many thought that he probably would have fought Adonis Stevenson by then. For those who don't know, he was made mandatory for WBC champion Adonis Stevenson after he beat Isaac Chilemba, who's fighting Bivol on this undercard in 2018. November the 28th of 2015. Damn near 3 years ago. And with step-aside agreements and blah, 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 Adonis Stevenson hasn't fought a mandatory challenger. So now he's finally fighting his mandatory challenger in Alexander Grovesdick right here. In fact, let's go talk about the WBC, excuse me, the light heavyweight division right now on TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. So you have Adonis Stevenson, who's the WBC champion, and you know, you can say he's the #1 guy right now. He's got to fight Alexander Usyk sometime in the fall. He's a top-ranked fighter. Thanks, Lawrence, for reminding me. And Stevenson, a PBC Showtime fighter, right? You have Marcus Brown fighting tomorrow night. It's going to be interesting to see what he's going to do because he was supposed to be fighting Kovalev instead of Eleider Alvarez. But whatever the case may be, moving on to the WBA. By the way, we don't know what Badou Jack is going to do yet because he can't get the Stevenson rematch, and he dropped this belt that Dmitry Bivol has. And I don't see him fighting Artur Beterbiev because Artur Beterbiev is going to be on that streaming service, The Zone, over here in the States. So, and he's a Showtime fighter. And then when it comes to Kovalev and HBO, I don't see Badou Jack fighting him. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see what Badou Jack does next. As we talked about, Dmitry Bivol is fighting on the undercard against Isaac Chilemba, who I wouldn't be surprised if Bivol, you know, goes 12 for him, 12 with him and doesn't stop him. You know, Chilemba can be pretty tricky sometimes, right? And then the WBA rankings are, you know, pretty, you know, there's really not much there. As we talked about, IBF champion Artur Beterbiev is fighting over on The Zone. He returns October the 6th against Callum Johnson. And then you have Sergey Kovalev, as we're talking about, taking on Eleider Alvarez. Anthony Yard, who was offered the fight, my understanding, main events, the promoter of Kovalev offered him the fight. He turned it down, obviously. And Frank Warren, you know, they're feeling as though Yard is not ready just yet. But apparently a scout is going to, a scout or somebody from Yard's team is going to be in Atlantic City scouting Kovalev tomorrow. So remember, these three belts right here are the belts that Kovalev, whether controversially, whether you believe it was controversially or not, lost to Andre Ward. Andre Ward went to retire. Kovalev went on to win his WBO back, and his other two belts are split up. They're really trying to build up Kovalev versus Bivol, but it doesn't. I mean, I would be surprised if it happens next. Let's say, for example, tomorrow, August the 4th, Bivol beats Chilemba and Kovalev beats Alvarez. It's hard for me to see them fight each other next, you know, and meaning next, like sometime in, you know, the late fall, you know, winter, late, I mean, like late fall, later this year, or possibly really, really early next year, like January, February. But, you know, I just don't see it. You know, I see them both going other routes because they're really trying to build this up to be a super fight. And right now, fans are just not really biting on it. You know, that's why I hope both of these guys put on a good performance tomorrow, you know, because they are the favorites to win both of their fights. So, you know, it can get a little bit bigger because nobody's really talking about the fight. But anyway, if you don't know, Kovalev weighed in at 170. And Eleider Alvarez 174.4, according to, I got to go look that up because it seems as though, if you notice, it was like some confusion, you know, on the scale. Also, I said it before, a lot of people don't give Kovalev credit for being the very, very good boxer that he is. I talked about in my Fight Week preview that I do have Kovalev beating Eleider Alvarez because he doesn't throw enough punches and he's not super fast. So I see a situation with Kovalev countering him in the right hand with the right hand, and his chin either being tested or he's going down, you know. And he's not the type of fighter to go to the body, you know. It's almost, you know, like Cuban school ish the way he fights. You know, he's not going to be going out there going to get into a slugfest. That's not him in any way, shape, or form. He's going to go out there and try to outbox Kovalev, and Kovalev is often underestimated for his boxing ability. As I said before many times, look at the first fight between him and Andre Ward, and even his second fight before he started headhunting and got gassed out. You know, he was outboxing him. He wasn't just beating him up. He was outboxing him. But that's all up for debate, and that's my opinion, and I'm entitled to that. So I'm going to be here tomorrow night covering the fight, covering the card. Also, there's a card on PBC on Fox. I got some boxing to get to now over on PBC on Bounce. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.